By Friday afternoon, most of the water in Richwood and Nicholas County had receded, and people needed help.
Oh, I need a mop so bad.
All right.
What you need?
She needs a
A mop?
I have one in my car.
Mop's about this big around. And
Carol Holmes says this is the second time that her home of 20 years has flooded in Richwood.
I'm 75 years old and I've never experienced this in my whole life. And it's rough. It's hard. I'm about to cry myself to death.
Carol Holmes says this is the second time that her home of 20 years has flooded in Richwood.
Well, I was sitting in a rocking chair, and I had two little dogs, and I was talking on the phone to my grandson. And I said, "It is really raining here, Michael." And my other son came out and he said, "Mom, look." And here I have a stone wall all around my house, and it just run right over top the wall. Them great big tars that goes on tractors and everything was floating down in my yard. Had a big, beautiful garden. It's all gone.
Things are a little hectic at City Hall the day after waters ravaged the former logging town. Volunteers are passing out goods while officials stack water in the hallway, and foot traffic of residents is steady. Outside, emergency officials set up generators and hoist floodlights to prepare for the evening. Like so many places across the state, the town of Richwood was left without water, electricity, and even phone lines. What once were treasured belongings are now piles of trash waiting for the dump while sitting in the driveway. Residents say water came gushing into the valley from the mountains, turning over fences and leaving a thick layer of mud on everything. The water carried debris through alleys and even rushed into the Nicholas County Nursing and Rehabilitation Center.
Probably within 15 minutes, it had climbed to the point that it was entering air conditioners. The sandbags were just no longer useful at that point. So then it became an organization effort of getting people lined up on hallways and making sure that they're ready to evacuate. And shortly after that, it reached points. If you can see the wood behind me, at one point it was over top of that wooden fence there.
Alan Rose volunteered to help evacuate 97 residents from the nursing home, many of them in wheelchairs or immobile.
Some of these people had to be strapped to their wheelchairs for their own safety. It was a rough situation, you know. On a regular day, these people, they're able to live just like anyone else, but many of them are immobilized from the waist down or partial immobilization. Some stroke patients recovering at the facility, and they just don't have the ability to ambulate on their own. So those are the people that we had to take the most precaution with and give them the personal care they needed to get them out of here. Well, many people were panicked about water. Some people spoke about childhood memories of floods of the past. Many people, the biggest complaint was, "I can't swim." Yeah.
The nursing home evacuation happened before the National Guard arrived. J.D. Estep was one of the workers who helped with the evacuation.
I have never been more proud to be a mountaineer or a citizen of West Virginia than I was in the middle of that disaster. People opened their yards, their homes. Wherever we could put residents, that's where they put them. They were out there helping us, getting them across the road, doing whatever we could do to get them out of that water. It was horrifying and incredible.
The nursing home is just one landmark in town that was saturated by rushing floodwaters on June 23rd. The Little League field that was just updated a couple of years ago was also underwater. Richwooders, as they call themselves, are no stranger to flooding. According to a website called richwooders.com, in 1954, a flood washed away cars, damaged homes, and businesses. They called it the superflood.
Well, the first thing I could see that we needed was helicopters and motorboats and water purifiers, engines for our plants that wouldn't work here, and of course, naturally, later we were going to need food and clothing and money. But I contacted Washington and I contacted Charleston, and our wires kept breaking up so badly that I didn't know whether they were going to be able to help us or not, but they assured me that they would do what they can, and then our wire went off, and from then on it was just up to them.
The images from 1954 are similar to the June 2003 flood, but word spread much faster in 2016 thanks to the internet and social media. Former Councilman Jeremy Rose was quick to take a few pictures and post to his Facebook page. The pictures showed floodwaters blanketing the town of Richwood, even covering the high school football field. The town is still recovering from a flood that hit in 2003. It's rough to recover with limited resources.
I think that the citizens of Richwood want to rebuild. I think most of the people here yearn to see this town not just fighting the current to keep its head above water, but we as a citizenry do not have control of our own economy. The largest employers are not anybody located in Richwood.
ESTEP says younger residents in Richwood were working to revitalize the community before the June 23rd flood, but says the process has been frustrating.
We have all the desire and none of the power. We have all of the will and none of the ability. And it is crushing, especially for young people in a town, a county, a state that is struggling to retain young people. Those that have got theirs and are where they like to be, it's not their problem. They're fine. We're struggling. We're struggling now even more than we ever have. But we're powerless to do anything about it.
And like so many other places in the state, the economy here was a challenge even before the flood. Still, ESTEP says there is a bond that comes with being a West Virginian that you just can't get anywhere else.
You can't buy that. You can have all the money in the world, and if your neighbors aren't going to help you, then you're literally up a creek.
And for folks like Carol Holmes, she wouldn't live anywhere else but Richwood.
But I'm still here. My kids are still here. That's all that matters.
For West Virginia Public Broadcasting, I'm Jessica Lilly in Richwood.